Good evening, everybody. Nice to see people here already. How is everyone this evening? There's like 5 people here, which is really nice. So we've got a new person here, a new subscriber, Claire. She's new to this channel, so welcome, Claire. We've got Robin, we've got Joe, we've got Twist, and we've got Simon so far. I was literally trying to eat my dinner before it got to 9:30. As you can see, I've not managed to eat my dinner before it got to 9:30. I've had a crazy busy evening. Yes, Robin, I am dressed up. I've got a nice little button-down shirt on and a jumper, and I'm wearing chinos as well. I've had a very busy evening. I've been out of the house since 6. So I'll tell you all about that in a second. Simon, they're not noodles. It's pasta carbonara. It's a little quick ready meal that I just threw in the oven as soon as when I got home. But it's only just cooked, and I'm trying to eat it, and yeah, doesn't taste amazing. It could do with some cheese, and yeah, I've not had a chance to eat it yet. And then I was like, oh no, it's 9:30. I need to come on to YouTube because I said I would. So yeah, I've not eaten yet. I last had something to eat at 11 o'clock this morning, and it's now 9:30 in the evening. So we could turn this into, is it a bangmuk video? Is that what it's called? Where you watch people eat and they describe the flavours and the smells? Is it a bangmuk? I'm not really up with these like things. Or is that ASMR? I'm really confused now. Is ASMR like noises, like crackling bubble wrap? And bangmuk is where you watch people eat. Oh, mukbang! Oh God. Okay, so it could be a mukbang video. I'm eating pasta carbonara, so it's pasta in a creamy sauce with bits of bacon, ham. I don't know. Not the easiest thing to eat at all. And I've also got a drink. I'm drinking spiced plum and apple cider, which is really nice. So while everyone else is coming in, I'll let you know what I've been doing this evening. Oh no, I'm getting sauce all over my desk. See, I do not normally eat at my desk. I normally eat in the living room. But I was like, oh, I need to eat. I need to talk to you guys. What's going on? Also, I don't know if anyone else is on this evening that I need to get off for. Simon, do you know whether anyone else is due to go live this evening? And that do I have like a time frame of like, I don't want to jump on other people's lives. That's the last thing I want to do. I am stuffing my face, Becky. Yes, I'm eating pasta carbonara, or trying to eat pasta carbonara. Not doing very well because I'm too busy talking, obviously, because it's alive. Right, so don't. YouTube is all mine. Lovely. Hello. Oh God, Metallic Leora. Thank you for subscribing. Do you know what? I think you are our 199 subscriber. I thought I was going to get to 200 today, but I haven't, which is super unfortunate. And that sort of leads on to the topic of tonight's. Actually, before I get on about tonight's topic, I'll just let you know what I've been doing this evening. Oh, hey, Brian. So the reason I'm dressed relatively smart casual is I had an interview this evening for I'm going to volunteer with a youth organisation in the UK. And this evening I went to the location where I was going to be volunteering to have an interview with the people who need to be impressed by me. I don't know whether any of these organisations are in other countries around the world, but in the UK they have these youth organisations, and I am going to be joining the Army Cadet Force. So it's a youth organisation based on the British Army. We also have the Air Cadets, which is a youth organisation based on the RAF, and we have the Sea Cadets, which is a youth organisation based on the Royal Navy. And they're organisations where teenagers can learn military skills and also skills that are going to help them throughout their entire life. And being an ex-soldier and an ex-police officer, I thought it'd be a perfect fit for me to become an adult volunteer with this youth organisation. So I had an interview for that this evening. So I had to go to the local detachment, which is about 5 miles from my house, and have a meeting with the company commander and the company sergeant major. And it was more sort of like an interview. It went really, really well. And they actually told me this evening that they're very impressed with me and they want me to go forward with the process. So I've got a load more paperwork to fill in, and I've got courses to go on and vetting to do and things like that. But that should hopefully go through. One of the things that happened in the meeting this evening, the company commander was like, where do you see yourself progressing with the cadet force as an adult instructor? And I was like, well, a couple of years, I could be a detachment commander. It's like, we are really short of officers at the moment. So with your background in the police and your background in safeguarding, that would be really good for you to progress down that route and become an officer. So I was like, well, okay, we'll see what happens. So nothing's going to happen now until after the new year, after Christmas, after the Christmas fuel period and the new year. And then I have to go on a weekend to a local camp for like a familiarization weekend, like an induction weekend and things like that. So that was really good news, but it meant that I didn't get home until 20 to 9 this evening. And then I had to jump into Simon's Live, also cook my dinner, also get the cider out of the fridge, also set up my light for the live so you can actually see me. So yeah, it's been a bit of a busy evening. Oh, somebody has just subscribed and we now have 200 subscribers to my channel. I am so exciting. So exciting. 200. That's amazing. Because a couple of months ago, I was sat squarely at 198 and it didn't move for ages. Then I put a few videos and expressed some opinions in those videos, and my subscriber count dropped. And I was like, oh no, my opinions are making people run away. I was like, what's happened? My opinions are making people run away. And then I got a comment on another video from Brian about this particular topic. And I was thinking to myself, I say this a lot, so why don't I just tackle it head on and actually have a discussion with it? So the topic of tonight's live is duality, and duality in the neo-pagan, witchy, tarot community. And if you've watched any of my previous videos, then you will know that my personal opinion is that in the neo-pagan, witchy, tarot community, the pendulum has swung, in my opinion, too far to the sacred feminine, and it's ignored the divine masculine. And the whole point of paganism, witchcraft, Wicca, and a lot of the neo-pagan belief systems, including the way that the tarot works as well, is there's supposed to be duality between the male and the female, the masculine and the feminine, the yin and the yang, the black and the white, the good and the evil. It's all about duality. And personally, I think in our community, we've swung way too far to one side and we need to bring it back into the middle. But we have to be careful not to overcompensate, because that's when different people and different groups start to feel ostracized. And as a male in the neo-pagan community, I feel that it is become very too far to the sacred feminine. So I thought I'd have a discussion about this and see what the rest of the community think, what you guys think, and how, not that we're going to fix it, but by talking about this and being aware about this, we can make more informed choices. So where should we go with that? While you're typing, I'm going to eat some more carbonara because I'm super hungry. I've not eaten for like 10, 11 hours now, so I'm super hungry. So I'm going to have some carbonara while you're typing. Okay, so Simon, I'm going to have to read these comments so I can actually interact with them. I'm not going to be able to eat much at all. I'm going to be talking a lot. Simon says, there is duality in all things. That's why I used to have my original channel name. It's important that we not only recognise but embrace this fact. And I totally get that. For those of you who don't know, Simon's channel, Simon from the Hermit's Cave, his channel wasn't originally called the Hermit's Cave. It was called Two Spirit. And he had that channel name. I'm sure he won't mind me talking about this. He had that channel name to symbolise the fact that there is duality in him as a person, in his life, and in everything around him. He then became aware of the origins and meanings of the term Two Spirit and how it relates to a particular culture. And once he was aware of that, he felt that it wasn't right for him to continue using that term because he felt he was using that incorrectly. So that's why he changed his channel name. But yeah, we need to embrace the duality, and I don't think the community is yet. Twist says that he felt the same, but he didn't really notice until he was out on his own and finding his own path away from Wicca. Yeah, and it is. Oh my god, the comments are going woof. Right, let's go through these comments because I think this is an important topic to talk about. Hopefully, it's not too heavy of a topic, but if we do it in the right setting and in a safe space where we respect each other's opinions and each other's views, and we're not using hurtful or hateful language, and we're able to articulate what we're saying, I don't think we should be scared of these conversations. So Twister's just mentioned something about a tarot deck. He says here, when the Devine Masculine deck came out, there was a lot of flack that really irked him. Now, the Devine Masculine is a tarot deck that was up on Kickstarter recently, and it's reached its funding goals, and it's also reached its stretch goals, and it focuses on, as the title suggests, the Devine Masculine. I was so excited about this deck. Simon put me onto it, and I backed it straight away. It's my first Kickstarter that I've ever backed. So I backed it straight away because it really resonated with me. Now, I am so excited about it and so looking forward to it. But I also have other decks in my collection that are very feminine focused. I have some Oracle decks. I have the Goddess Power Oracle, which, as the name suggests, is all about goddess power. I have the Dark Goddess Oracle, which is all about dark goddesses. There's a lot of decks that are very feminine centered in my collection. And I've got decks where I can see a lot of masculine energy in certain cards. But I've now got a deck that's very masculine or divine masculine focused. So, okay, Brian, aka Papa Squirrel, has got a really good point. Stand by. Hello? Yeah, I'm just on YouTube. It's all right. Come in and say hello if you want. Sorry, everyone. This is my housemate Lee. This is who I live with. Say hello to everyone.
Hello, everyone.
We're having a really deep, meaningful conversation
That's good.
about like bad things that lose me subscribers.
Oh, okay. Maybe it's what you're wearing.
Leave me alone. I think what I'm wearing is nice. So yeah, this is Lee. This is my housemate who is just rediscovering his witchy path, I suppose you would call it.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah, he's lovely.
Right, I'm gonna go now.
You're gonna go. Okay, he's got really embarrassed and really shy. Bless him.
Somebody saying hello.
Everyone's saying hello. Everyone's waving and saying hello to you. Everyone likes Lee already.
There we go. Please subscribe.
Oh, I think all these people do subscribe.
Okay, well, if you haven't, then you need to.
Isn't he lovely?
I'm probably a southerner, though.
He's from the south of England. He's from Southampton.
Yes.
I'll tell you a little bit more about Lee in other videos and try and get him to get involved.
Right, I'm gonna go now.
All right then.
I found my Lego man.
Oh, you found your burning Lego man. That's so cute. Right, I'll see you later.
Go in now.
Bye.
Bye.
Right, let's now after that unexpected stoppage, I'm going to go back to Brian's comment, aka Papa Squirrel. Brian makes a really good point that he thinks this can be a tricky subject, especially as we are coming at it from a male perspective. And he said it would hurt my heart to think that someone would think my opinion is coming from a place of oppression. I totally agree with that. I am all for female and feminine empowerment, and I believe that we should all be equal. There is no place for any inequality between any of the genders or the gender identities that we have in this world. I wish we lived in a world where that was the case. I really do. For those that you don't know, I am, an openly gay male. And I've identified as such. Sorry, I'm an openly gay cis male, and I've identified as such since I was a teenager. This is no shocking. This is nothing shocking for people. Surprisingly, I openly came out on TV. I've never been not out of the gay closet or not out of the broom closet. But yeah, I think what Brian's saying, when we have these discussions in the community, I'm not saying that this happens to everyone, but there are some elements of the community that had this initial knee-jerk reaction where they think because we are males and we are talking about this issue, that we're trying to repress or oppress our sisters that are in the craft or our sisters within the community. And that's not the case. And some people might then have the opinion of, well, now you know how it feels, which is probably not the right way to go about it. We need to find that balance, that duality. And I think we've lost it. And I'm not sure how we're going to fix it. But that's why I wanted to talk about this evening. And that's why I wanted to get you guys involved and see what you all have to say, because only by discussing it are we going to, one, educate ourselves, challenge our own opinions and our own perception of the situation, and how we're going to learn. I mean, I can only come at it from one point of view, as a gay male. A straight male may come at it from a different perspective. A straight female may come at all our different. It's not just about gender or sexuality. It's all about our own life experiences and where we come from. So yeah, this is why I wanted to have this conversation, because I noticed that when I mentioned this in videos, my subscriber count went down because I can get really passionate about it. Because I do not like inequality of any kind against any people. So yeah, I'm going to carry on going through the comments. I know they've carried on going down while I've been talking, so I'm going to try and catch up because I think this is a really great topic to talk about. I'm really confused by Twist's comment. Dan, that is because there aren't any that aren't. Oh, okay. I see what you mean, Twist. There aren't any divine masculine decks that aren't overtly sexualized. Is that what you mean until now? I think I watched a video recently, and I think it was on Bappa Squirrel's channel about 5 decks that are coming out or to look out for. And is it the Sabbath or the Sabbath Tarot? Sounds incredible. I want that deck. But the way that Brian described it was like it has got a lot of the male form, a lot of nudity in the male form, and a lot of homoerotic art. And I was like, oh, I'm all for that. That sounds amazing. So where am I up to? Right. Okay. So everyone's saying hello to Lee. Smart and casual together, duality. Uh, oh, Lee's in the other room. Oh, I didn't realize Lee's in his bedroom and he's jumped onto the channel. I'm so far behind. I can hear him laughing in the next room because I'm so far behind on the comments. Right, I need to focus because this is a really serious conversation. Oh, this is so weird. It's all got very meta now that Lee's typing. He's such a numpty. Um, oh, right, okay. Right, sorry. He's doing that. He's done that on purpose. Um, so the Sabbath Tarot. I'm top of throne now. I've lost my train of thought. Let me have some drinks. Where were we? I'm trying to catch up with the comments, and I'm really confused. Oh, more people are coming in, which is lovely. Um, thing is, though, Becca, when you try and have a serious conversation, it inevitably descends into absolute chaos involving double entendre and innuendo. I've not even finished my pasta. My pasta's still here. I've not even attempted to eat my pasta because I've been too busy talking. I'm gonna have to try and eat it. It's gonna be cool by the time I get to eat it. It is what it is. What am I gonna do? So the people that I've spoken with about this, generally, myself, Simon, Brian, and Quest, I've had a few conversations. I've had conversations with those people regarding this, and I think we're all coming at it from a particular point of view. The 4 of us. So I'd like to know what other people think, and whether you agree with me or you think that what I'm saying is derivative of a patriarchal society. Because I hope it isn't. I hope what I'm saying and what other people that agree with me are saying regarding the lack of duality and the fact that the pendulum has swung too far to the side, I'm hoping it's not coming across as being derivative of a patriarchal society. But if it is, and people from that group believe it is, I'd like to know why they think that. Wow. Twist. That is an amazing comment. So Twist has just said that when he has been confronted um, about the divine masculine aspect, the people who have confronted him always bring up the past and what has happened in history and the fact that women were historically suppressed. And he goes on to say that he feels like balance and duality in the present needs to set the past aside in order to find that balance. As long as people feel owed, there will be no balance. That is so profound, and I wish I could have articulated it that well. That is so well articulated. And you're right, Twist. We have to remember the past. The past is what has shaped the present. So I live in Manchester. For most of you know I live in Manchester now. And in the city, there is a statue of Emily Pankhurst, who threw herself under the King's horse. She was a leading member of the suffragettes, and led the fight on women's suffrage in the UK. And there's a statue of her in the city to remember that, because she fought and she died to give women the right to vote in the UK. And now women have the right to vote because of the suffragettes, because of women's suffrage. They have all these other rights. And you have women in parliament, all these different things have progressed because of that. So we have to remember the past, but would it be right, we're talking about the issue of women's suffrage and voting, for it to swing too far and for women to have a greater say than anybody else in that arena? If I'm going to push it to the extreme now because this is a hypothetical conversation. Would it then be right for women to go, right, we've now got the votes, therefore we want one of our votes to count with, your vote should only count as one vote, but my vote should count as two votes. It's making it swing the other way, and it shouldn't be like that. Claire, the young lady's name was Emily Pankhurst or Parkhurst. I can't remember how to spell it. I'm sure somebody knows how to spell it. And Becca's very right. It is never easy when the shoe is on the other foot. And I think now, especially, the shoe might be on the other foot. And we are realizing that there is a lack of the divine masculine in our community, which I find a little bit sad. Now, I've been brought up around really cool women, and my grandma especially. It's like amazing. But I still feel that we need that duality and we need that balance. And that's what I find not jarring, but that's what I'm aware of at the moment in our community. And the more I become active on YouTube and the more I become active in the community, I have started to notice that there is this almost, I need to choose my words very carefully now, that there is this, so I'm struggling with how to word this because I'm really conscious that words can hurt people, and I don't ever want to be one of these people that use words without thinking about them and inadvertently hurt some people. But we all remember the goddess Power Oracle, the debacle, I suppose we can call it that, and the level of negativity because of that deck and because of a particular image in that deck. And there were allegations or there was criticism regarding how this particular goddess was perceived, and then that developed into other allegations, and there was conversations around cultural appropriation, and it got really nasty and really messy. When I reviewed the deck, I reviewed it to I reviewed it and tried to be quite balanced on the deck, and I came to it quite late to the game. But I think with any online community, it's very easy for these attacks, I suppose you'd call them, or criticisms to come when it would be much more difficult when you're face to face with somebody. I think there is this screen in front of us gives us this protection and this shield. Now, I could have come on this evening and been very aggressive in my language, or I could have been very antagonistic in the language that I was using regarding this topic because of this shield in front of me. You know, it's a computer screen. The worst thing that can happen is that people block me or people don't watch me. But I didn't want to be that person. I wanted to have this adult conversation regarding this issue. So yeah, and like you said, it is difficult when the shoe's on the other foot. And I think the men within the neo-pagan community are realizing that it might have gone a bit too far one way, and we are feeling a little left out. And we don't want to be left out. We want to be part of this group. I've just clocked one particular comment which I want to talk about because it sort of seamlessly links in. So Crow Quill Tarot has just put up a really good comment which says, let us look to historical facts. In truth, most tribal pagan human history has been matriarchal. And that is very true. Very, very true. It has been matriarchal as opposed to patriarchal. And they have been seen as the head of the family. They have been revered because they're able to bring life into the world. But again, you have to forgive me, I'm not a massive anthropological student, but from the little bit of information that I'm aware of and the history and the things that I've read and the things I've studied, yeah, they were all matriarchal societies. But they were never seen as higher than. It was just, that's the way that society was organized. The men had a purpose and women had a purpose. And it was the old stereotypical, for want of a better phrase, gender roles. Well, we're getting into dodgy territory now, which is never good. But yeah, and I think when you look at other tribes and other cultures that embrace sort of a more spiritual life, a more tribalistic, shamanistic, paganistic style of living, and the rituals that they have that go with it, each part, male and female, have a role to play that forms the duality. But they were all matriarchal, or mostly were matriarchal societies. So Robin goes on to say that he can see why folks need different decks to represent different groups. It becomes harder by doing so, though, to find decks that represent us all. I'm not ready to embrace animal or plant decks. That's very true, Robin. The fact that we have so many amazing tarot decks and oracle decks and divination systems that have so many different spins and so many different elements and so many different artistic styles, most people can find one that they really resonate with. But because there's so much content being produced, because the community now is so intertwined because of the internet, I think people are going, do you know what? Wouldn't it be great if we could have this? Wouldn't it be great if we could have this? And if we see a deck or if we see some sort of content that falls short to our own personal expectations, that's when we think, that's when this criticism, where this criticism can come from. Oh, right. Oh, wow. Okay. I am clearly so far behind on these comments, and the comments are amazing. Like, I, I can't believe that you're all embracing this conversation so well. Um, I'm trying to catch up, but I don't think I'm ever going to because you're all so far ahead of me. I'm going to try and catch up because I can see them in the amazing comments. Um, so we've got men of today. Simon makes a point that men of today can't be held responsible for what men of the past did. We've learned from history and we do better. And I like that. You know, would you compare me to a young man from the 1920s, for example? 100 years ago, would somebody like me or of my age group be having these thoughts, or would the society that they live in give them a particular thought process? And the fact that we've learned from things and things have progressed is a good thing. Colloquial tarot, patriarchal culture was very purposely introduced by the Romans, who perverted it with greed. The Romans have a lot to be held responsible for. Indoor plumbing being one. Christianity they created as well. They created a lot of things the Romans did. I'm not massively up on my Roman history, so yeah. Robin has a really good point about when he's using his decks as well. He's trying to visualize his soul and the character of each figure represented in a deck, regardless of gender, age, race. Oh, sorry, I'm just trying to catch up. Okay, I think I've caught up. This is a really heavy conversation. I hope I'm doing it justice. I was really worried that by trying to even begin a discussion on this topic, that I would ostracize part of the community. Because when I mentioned it before, as I said, it's always been in passing. I'm sorry, I'm just opening more cider. Woo, cider! Let me sort out my cider. I need to put it in my mason jar. I always feel fancy drinking out of a mason jar. I know it's like super old fashioned, but it's like proper in vogue, isn't it? Like mason jars, like jam jar-esque cups. It's like old fashioned, but in vogue, some super modern and super trendy. It tastes like Yule, winter spice plum and apple. It's amazing. It could do with a bit more cinnamon though. Yeah, so I was really worried about tackling this, but I'm so happy that you've all embraced it. What would you guys like to see from deck creators and content creators regarding this topic of duality? Oh yes, Robin, my cider is definitely alcoholic. I'm British. It must be alcoholic. I can't put all that in my mouth. That's just obscene. I'm trying to like eat some food while you carry on chatting. Why are we talking about Monty Python? Who's been a very naughty boy? Stand by, everyone. So, Robin has just mentioned something which I want to touch on. I want to talk about. So, where's it gone? I've lost it now. So Robin says that he wants to see light energy beings in a deck. Beings without gender or race or age or body difference. Now, I don't know if any of you have watched my recent unboxing of the Forest of Enchantment Tarot, but I got a little bit fanboy with it. And I was loving the deck because it's got images in there which I find give me super masculine or divine masculine feels. But there's one particular card which I remember. I've got to find it now and I'll show them bugger. One particular card that I remember looking at, and I immediately assumed that the character in the card was masculine in energy. But then the more I looked at it, the more it seemed to be androgynous. Like it could be either masculine, feminine. It could be anything. It could be anything that you want it to be. And because of the comment that Robin's just said, without gender, without race, without age, I thought, oh, I like it. So I'm going to pull this card out. So this card is from the Tarot of the Enchanted Forest, and it's called the Oldest One. And if you look at the face, I immediately saw an old man in the tree. But then the more I looked at it, I was like, it could be an old lady. But then if you look at it from a different angle, it's an old man. And that image made me think, what is it? What? And my brain, whether that's because society has programmed me to be that way, it was like, is it a man? Is it a male energy? Is it female energy? And I think it'd be a great card. I think it's a great card. And depending on the type of question you're asking or the type of reading you're doing or where it falls in the reading, it could be something particular or it could be everything. It all depends on what it is. And I love that image for that very reason. So what Robin's saying about them being beings without gender, beings without age, I think is perfect. And that image, as soon as I read that card, I was like, oh my God, the card from this deck is perfect for that reason, because you're looking at it and depending on where your thought process is at the time, it depends what you see in the card. Does that make sense? Have I just tried to... Does that make any sense from what I've just said? Because I got super excited then because of that particular card, which is stuck in my brain. Brian, no, we do. Our brains are pre-programmed to recognize patterns. It's why we see patterns. It's why you can look at clouds and see images in the clouds. Our brains are naturally designed to recognize patterns because of the recognize faces and things like that. So that's why we start to look for images and patterns and faces in things. And yeah, we do seek out like attracts like, and we are a tribal society. You know, we want to be part of that tribe. So no, yeah, that makes total sense. Brian, on the topic of decks that have characters in that are ageless, genderless, neutral beings, maybe that's why there's a lot of really popular animal themed decks because it avoids the issue around the divine masculine, or tries to sidestep the issue of the balance between the divine masculine and the sacred feminine. You know, I've got some animal decks, and again, it's genderless and it's animals being used to represent aspects of our personalities. So maybe that's why animal decks are quite popular, because of that reason, and it's using the allegory of an animal's behavior to as a mirror to our personality traits and our personality aspects, because at the base of our, you know, we're all back inside our little tiny brains is our reptilian brain that is about food, fear, and sex, basically. You know, so maybe that's why there's so many animal decks at the moment, and I'm as guilty as anyone else. I've got so the one right at hand, in fact, is Druid Animal Oracle. So let's have a quick flick through this and see whether any of the cards in this deck give us any gender, because I bet they don't. Oh, got cards stuck. There we go. So if we have a quick flick. So for example, the Water Dragon, that is genderless to me. There's no gender, no divine masculine, no sacred feminine within that card. The Boar, the Fox. You'll love this card, Simon. This is a card for you. But if you're looking at these images from this particular animal deck, there's no gender to them. There's no gender whatsoever. No, they're just animals. And these animals are being used as a mirror on our aspects of our personality. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, this is the first card I've seen which I've got the energy of a sacred feminine energy from this card. And correct me if I'm wrong, if anyone else sees it. So it's the Wren card. And I think by the nature of the image, and I might be wrong, it's sacred feminine because it's a wren and she's got a feather. She's feathering her nest. She's looking after her young. She's nurturing them. Immediately, without even looking at the guidebook, that's what I get from this card. So maybe, am I wrong? Does anyone else agree with that? Be interesting to see what the guidebook says about that. And then the next card, I get Divine Masculine from this one because it's the bull. It's a male cow. So, but those were the first two cards out of the deck that I'm not going to go through every single card in the deck. I just thought I would get it out to, you know, discuss whether having animal decks or animal decks are popular is because it sidesteps the issue of the divine masculine and the sacred feminine. It's very true, Simon. Male penguins. Oh, the two gay male penguins at Berlin Zoo, is it? That I'd keep adopting little eggs. Oh, makes my heart break. In a good way. Like, it just warms me up so much. We do, Robin. We do anthropomorphize. And maybe that is why they are very popular, because we are able to do that and put our own take on it. Whereas when it's a human image, you sort of have to go with what it's saying in a way. If that makes sense. Sorry, I'm so rude eating my dinner while I am on YouTube. But I'm so hungry. I'm literally so hungry. I could eat anything right now. I'm even eating cold pasta. Twist, why do you associate the pool with your mother? Is she a Taurus by any chance? Who's on leave days? Am I on leave days, Simon? I'm not sure who that question. Who that? I'm not sure who Simon's question is to. Is it to me? Well, twist. If you're all Tauruses, I bet that is fun during arguments. Oh yeah. So Simon, the question was to me. Yes, I'm back in work Sunday. So I've had this week off because I had leave to take. So I took this week off. So that's why I've had this interview this evening, which is why I'm obviously up very late, why I'm eating dinner late, why I'm drinking alcohol late, why I'm still dressed as if I'm going out. So yeah, I am on leave days. So I think we have only scratched the surface when it comes to this topic of duality within the community. I could talk about this for hours, and having this conversation with various people, it goes in different directions. You could talk about this again tomorrow night, and it go in a completely different direction. Um, if Kelly Bear was here, she would give us a very unique perspective, and she'd be very eloquent at that perspective. And I like talking to her because she challenges me. The few times I've had the chance to sit face to face with her, and we somehow stumble into these conversations. I think it's twice I met her. We stumble into these conversations. Um, she's very eloquent and very knowledgeable about feminism, and it helps challenge me and my perspectives because, but that's what I like. That's what I enjoy, and by having these open conversations, we're able to learn. I don't think we'll ever fix the situation anytime soon, but I think it's getting to where I think the pendulum has swung that point and is now slowly coming back to the middle, and hopefully it will settle in the middle and not swing too far down the divine masculine route. Oh God! Oh, it's Thanksgiving, isn't it? Merry Thanksgiving, everybody in America. Is that what we say? I am totally not up on Thanksgiving. Turkey Day. Happy Turkey Day. Is that right? So Thanksgiving is when the pilgrims didn't starve or had a meal with the Native Americans. Is that right? Oh, happy Thanksgiving. Happy Thanksgiving, everybody. Um, yeah, Thanksgiving. I'm not massively up in American history. Um, so you'll have to forgive me. Isn't it something to do with the pilgrims and is it the Mayflower? The Mayflower? They didn't starve? I don't really understand. Thanksgiving is when the mass genocide began. Is that when they started showing STDs and syphilis with the native population? In Canada, Turkey Day is on the US's Columbus Day. What? Oh, Canada. Why do you have to have it on a different day? Right, so the Native Americans shared their harvests with the Pilgrims so they didn't die, and then the Pilgrims later on decided to kill all the Native Americans in a big land grab. Okay. So Thanksgiving has got nothing to do with independence. Is that right? Wow. But at least you get to eat turkey. I mean, I need to brush up on that. I know Independence Day is the 4th of July, but Thanksgiving's got nothing to do with that. I need to brush up on my American history. My American history is terrible. Like, actually quite bad. But we don't learn it. We haven't got, in our education system, I don't think we've got time to learn American history. We have, well, generally in school, I think we learn, the history we learn is from like 1066 onwards, like the written history. Before that, that's like archaeology before that. But we know from about 1066, the Battle of Hastings, and then the next 1,000 years in our country's history. So we ain't got time to learn American history as well. Trying to cram 1,000 years into your education is hard work, especially if you only have like history, like 1 hour a week. You're never going to learn it all. It's a nightmare. Then you've got like the Tudor and Stuarts and the Anglo-Saxons and all that sort of malarkey. And then you've got like learn about Guy Fawkes and the Reformation and all that sort of stuff. It's like too much. I'm glad we're sort of like moving away from a controversial topic into another controversial topic. Robin, what's an Anglophile? I don't know what an Anglophile is. Oh, you love the Brits. So, my British heritage is, so Simon probably has a longer British heritage than Simon's family probably has a longer British heritage than mine does. With Simon's surname, I would imagine that that name came over with the Vikings around that time, whereas my name came over to the United Kingdom, or to the British Isles, should I say, with the Normans. So around 1066, that sort of around, around the 11th century, the 12th century is when my family name came to the United Kingdom, or sorry, to the British Isles. I imagine Simon's half Irish and African. How did that get there? How did you get African? Where did that turn up from? How far back are you going? I know that, Brian. I know the cradle of the human species is Africa. That's super interesting, Simon. My surname is Travis, Travis. It originates from France about 1,000 years ago. It was recorded in France about 1,000 years ago. It's where the word traverse, to cross, comes from, or the English word traverse. If you traverse a bridge, or you traverse a river, or you traverse a valley, it means to cross. And historically, it was somebody who collected the tolls on bridges, and that's where the name Travis comes from. So yeah, it's similar to how you get butchers, bakers, not candlestick makers, butchers, bakers, Smith, Miller. Those names were generally associated going far, 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 far back with jobs, same as my family name, but in French. Yeah. Right. I've been on here for an hour now. We have attempted to tackle a super difficult subject. And I just want to say thank you to everybody that got involved. And thank you that the comments that you all left were intelligent, articulate, well thought out. And from reading them, and I will watch back and read them all, appeared to come from a place of love. So I really appreciate that for you. From the bottom of my heart, thank you so much. It was a great conversation to have, and I think it's only the start of this conversation. I don't think anyone, or I'm not aware of anyone, that's even attempted to tackle this conversation. So I might change the title once I finish this to Duality, Divine Masculine versus Sacred Feminine. And hopefully that will generate some more interest going forward. So I'm going to keep this video up for people to watch. And if you ever have any conversations with people about this, you're more than welcome to point into this video to see how this conversation and how the conversation that we had, I think this is how it should always be tackled, in an open way, and people thinking and being conscious about the words that they use and how they were going to use it. Oh, Naomi, I didn't even see you come in. You missed so much. Watch it back, because I'm going to watch it back, and I'm really excited by this conversation. So thank you so much for being so open to this. I was really worried that this was going to be taken the wrong way by the community, but it hasn't been, and I'm really, really appreciative of this. So I am trying to think when I'll next be on. I haven't got any decks due to be delivered except the Bone Stone and Earth Flesh Tarot. I'm not sure when that's going to arrive. It might arrive by the end of the year, or it might be in the new year. I've obviously got the Divine Masculine coming, but that won't be till May. What's the date? It's the 28th. Moonbox won't be here for another 10 to 12 days. So it might be a couple of weeks, maybe about 2 weeks till I next come on and speak to you guys. If anything happens in the meantime, I've got anything to record, I will do. But yeah. Anyway, if you guys have got any ideas of any videos you want me to do, because I've done loads of unboxings, but I've run out of things to unbox now. So let me know what you want me to talk about, what you want me to do, and yeah, we'll take it from there, I would guess, I suppose. Yeah. Anyway, on that note, I'm going to finish eating my stone cold pasta and finish drinking my cider. So if there's any more questions from anybody, then please drop them into the chat. Twist, I'll let you know when my box arrives, Dan. It will mean yours goes. Yes, I think you get yours a couple of days before mine. So yeah, do a ritual if not too personal. Going to be a bit of a bugger to film because I don't have a great setup yet, but I can have a go. I can have a go for you. Okay, yeah. All right then. So on that note, Simon, it's going to be very difficult actually for you all, because I can't exactly build a bonfire in my apartment. So I might And I've been thinking about this, about how to have a bonfire in my house for Yule, because it's the darkest night of the year. You know, you have to encourage the sun back into the world by lighting fires, which is why Christmas trees are covered in lights. They are not always Christmas trees, they're Yule trees. It's why traditionally around this time of year you deck lights everywhere and candles everywhere, and you light the Yule, you know, you have a Yule log and you have a bonfire because you're encouraging the sun back. But I've been thinking about how to do that this year, and I've got some ideas. So I might do a video on that about Yule log or Yule fire. And yes, you do need to interview me, and we need to sync our calendars and get that sorted because I have been saying for the past 12 months, I'll let you interview me, and it's not happened. Hopefully, people want to see you interview me, and hopefully, I've got enough things to say to fill an hour, which I think I might have. Twist used a crap load of candles. I've got some ideas, Twist. I'm going to test them out and see how we get on. And then maybe I'll do a video on an indoor Yule fire, an indoor Yule log. Brian wants me to do the interview. Okay. Right. On that note, guys, I'm going to finish eating my cold pasta, finish drinking my Yule cider, and turn all these lights off because it's like, so much light on me. There's lots you want to ask. I'm sure we could fill a little more than an hour with our conversations. But yeah, thank you so much once again for being here this evening. I hope you have a lovely evening. I hope all my American viewers have a wonderful rest of Thanksgiving, and that you've eaten lots and lots of food and you're all now nursing food babies. So have a lovely evening. Take care, and bye-bye.